Rebecca here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to this channel, welcome to my art channel. On here, I'll share with you some easy to follow tips, tricks and techniques to help you improve your own painting. So if you're interested to find out more, do check out the rest of the videos on my channel, as well as the previous video that I posted where I shared with you how to paint a bougainvillea flower in watercolor. If you would like to see more of such step-by-step, beginner-friendly painting tutorials, don't forget to follow me on this channel here. The subscribe button is down below, and also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I post my next video. Also, do follow me on my socials. My Instagram and Pinterest, Etsy accounts are all down in the description box below. That is where I usually post the pictures of my paintings as well as the behind the scenes pictures and videos, so go follow me there. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to paint peonies in watercolor. So basically what I did here was I did a drawing of the peonies, and I've attached a download link in the description box, so if you need any kind of like a drawing guide, you can just download it. If you feel that you're not so confident just painting directly on the paper, you need a drawing, just go download it in the description box. It's totally free of charge, you can just download it and you can start painting. Alright, so I hope that helps, and one more thing is do share with me in the comment section down below what are some difficulties or challenges you face when you use watercolor. Alright, so now that we have all of that out of the way, let's get started. These are the materials that we'll be using for today's session. So first of all, I have the Van Gogh watercolor palette. It's a 15 pen set, and over here I'll be using the Winsor & Newton Codman watercolor permanent rose. And then for the brushes, I'll be using two brushes. So I'll be using the size 0 and size 8 Aquafine round tip watercolor Daler Rowney brushes. You can use the brush pen, the blue one, if you wish to. It's optional. That's if you want to do more details. And this is the Aquafine texture watercolor paper by Daler Rowney that I'll be using as well. And don't forget your water bucket or this water jar and some tissue paper. Alright everyone, so let's start by mixing colors, and we're gonna see how we can make some colors here. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is I would take the round brush. It's the size number 8 round tip Daler Rowney brush. You can just get any round size number 8 brush that you have at home, and we're gonna see how we can mix colors using this brush. So what I would do first is I would wet my brush, and I'll just wet it first. And then we're going to add the colors now. We're going to mix the colors. So what I have here with me is the permanent rose color, or you can just use whatever red or pink that you have in your own palette. And let's just see how we're going to mix it. Okay, so I hope you guys can see it clearly. What I'm doing here is I'm taking some of that permanent rose color. So it's a very nice shade of like pink. Okay, and then let's just test it out to see if we like the color or not. So always have another piece of paper ready so that you can test out your colors. You can do like a color swatch. Okay, so is this the color that you want for your peony? I don't know, it's up to you. But for me, I think I will add a little bit of white. So right now I'm gonna add the Chinese white. I mean, it's just the name of the white. Yeah, so you can just get any kind of white color that you want. There we go. So we're gonna start now. So one thing before we start is that if you actually drew this out with like the pencil, so basically erase the marks first, make it as light as possible, but you can still see the faint outlines, and then you paint. Alright? Yeah, I hope that helps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the darker lines, and then I'm going to start painting. Yeah, let's start with the lightest color. So for watercolor, as I mentioned in my previous videos, it's always good to start light first before you proceed to the darker colors. Yeah, because for watercolor you can't really undo the colors, so it's always good to start from light to dark. So let's start with the lightest pink that we just mixed. let's just start with the lightest pink. I will start from the inside of the flower, like the middle part of the flower. So for this part, I just want to sort of make this petal a bit lighter. So I'm going to just take my brush and add a little bit of water just to dilute the paint here so that you have a bit of that gradient effect. So be careful not to use too much water. Now if you use too much water, just dry your brush. Okay, dry your brush and then just slowly lift out the excess water or the excess paint. Okay, so this will give you that very nice gradient effect. And I'm just going to keep filling in the light color. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm just going to make sure that, okay, you see this part here, right? I want to use the technique called wet on wet. Okay, so you have to do it quickly because it's wet on wet, so it dries very quickly, right? So you have to make sure that you add it when it's still wet. So I'm just going to add a bit of a darker color here, just a slightly darker tone, and I'm just going to add it in. And one thing to take note of is that for watercolor, when you paint, when it dries, the color actually appears lighter than when you're applying it. Okay, so you have to sort of figure out what is the tone, what shade it is exactly that you want when it dries. Yeah. So for me, for this part, I like to keep the edge of the petal darker. So this part here, it's still kind of light, right, for this petal, this one here. So then for the edge of the petal, I'm going to add some of that darker permanent rose here. And just use the tip of my brush to just add in the color, wet on wet. And then sort of try and blend it a little bit so that it won't appear too jarring. Okay. And then you can just let it bleed through. Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of watercolor. You can just let the colors mix on their own without doing too much to it. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to show you what I do to create the outlines of the petals. So for peonies, you just have to bear in mind that they sort of curve out a little bit. Sort of use the tip of your brush, okay, just the tip of the brush, to get these wiggly lines, so to speak. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to darken the middle part of the rose, so, the peony. Okay, so I would change my brush. I would use this size, okay, size 0 round tip brush. So it's a very fine brush here that will help you get those sharp lines very nicely. Okay, so I'm going to wrap my brush and I'm going to take that permanent rose color again, and I'm just gonna darken some parts of it just to define these petals and these folds, and yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next peony, and it's the same thing again. Just remember to mix your colors. Okay, make it light, but we start from light to dark. Okay guys, so I'm inserting this part of the video here because I just realized that there were some problems with my camera and the memory storage and all that, so I didn't manage to capture how I painted the leaves. So now I'm going to show you how I paint the leaves here. Okay, so I'm just going to use this brush, the one that we've been using all along, so the round tip size 8 brush, and I'm going to mix some colors before we start painting the leaves. So over here what I have is I start mixing the sap green. So this is a warm green color, so I just mix some sap green with burnt umber. Okay, so I have some burnt umber here and I'm just gonna mix it in. So I have a very nice warm green here, and then I'm just gonna start painting the leaves. So I'm gonna start with the tip of my brush, the tip here, and then I'm gonna slowly drag out the brush. Yeah, so this is how I do the leaves. Just bring it out. Now I'm gonna use some other colors for the leaves. So I'm gonna take a bit of this Viridian green, and then I'm gonna add the burnt umber again. Yeah, so this is how I paint the leaves, and I'll show you what the end product looks like. Okay guys, so this is the end of the tutorial. Thank you so much for staying and painting along with me. Now this is the end product, the peonies in watercolor. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like this, share this, and subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you guys very soon. I'll be posting the very next painting tutorial very soon. So I hope to see you guys there, and take care and goodbye.